A young man named Arjun lived in a small village. Every day he felt weighed down by frustration and sadness. He was constantly chasing after material wealth and success, believing that these would bring him happiness. But the harder he tried, the more empty he felt inside. His relationships were strained, his work was never satisfying, and no matter how much he acquired, it never seemed enough. One day, in the heat of his frustration, he left his home and decided to seek out answers to the questions that had been gnawing at him. He had heard stories of a wise man, Siddhartha Gautama, known as Buddha, who was said to possess profound wisdom. Arjun, desperate for answers, decided to find him. Arjun traveled for hours through the forest, his mind racing with thoughts. He finally arrived at a quiet clearing where he saw a man meditating beneath a large tree. The man was peaceful, serene, and unbothered by the world around him. He recognized him instantly. It was Buddha. With a mixture of impatience and hope, Arjun approached Buddha and interrupted his meditation. "Buddha!" Arjun exclaimed, his voice full of urgency. "I am troubled beyond measure. My life is full of struggle and unhappiness. I work hard every day. I try to be successful, but it's never enough. Please, tell me, how can I find peace?" Buddha opened his eyes slowly and smiled. His voice was calm and reassuring as he spoke. "Arjun, I see the weight you carry in your heart. You seek happiness, but you are looking in the wrong places. The world is full of distractions, and we often chase after things that are fleeting. Come, sit with me and listen. I will share a teaching with you." Arjun, eager for an answer, sat beside Buddha, listening intently as he began to speak. "Arjun, all life is bound by suffering. This is the first noble truth. Suffering comes in many forms: physical, emotional, and mental. It arises from our desires and attachments. We desire things, people, status, and we believe that they will bring us lasting happiness. But these things are impermanent." Arjun looked at Buddha, confused. "But what should we do? How do we stop suffering?" Buddha continued. "The second noble truth explains the cause of suffering. It is our attachment to these fleeting things. We cling to them, believing that they will bring us lasting happiness. But they cannot. When we lose them, or when they don't live up to our expectations, we experience pain and disappointment." Arjun thought about his own life. His pursuit of wealth, success, and status had only brought him temporary satisfaction. Each time he reached a goal, it seemed there was always another to chase. "But Buddha," Arjun asked, "if desire is the cause of suffering, does that mean we should never desire anything?" Buddha smiled gently. "No, Arjun. It is not wrong to have desires, but it is important to understand their nature. The third noble truth is that it is possible to end suffering by letting go of attachment and desire. When we stop clinging to the impermanent, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. True peace comes from within." Arjun listened carefully. He had been so focused on chasing external things that he had never thought about turning inward. Buddha continued. "The fourth noble truth," Buddha said, "is the path to freedom from suffering. It is the eightfold path: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These steps, when practiced, help us to live a life of balance and peace." Arjun looked at Buddha in awe. He could see that this was the key to true happiness, not in external things, but in the cultivation of inner wisdom and peace. After listening to Buddha's words, Arjun felt a sense of calm wash over him. It was as though a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. The weight of his frustrations and desires seemed less important now. For the first time, he understood that true happiness wasn't found in wealth, success, or external achievements, but in finding peace within. "Thank you, Buddha," Arjun said softly. I understand now. It is not about what I possess, but about how I live. I will begin practicing the path you have shown me. Arjun returned to his village with a new sense of clarity and purpose. Though the challenges of life still existed, he no longer felt overwhelmed by them. He learned to let go of his attachments, focus on the present moment, and live with mindfulness. His relationships improved, and he found joy in simple moments. The teachings of Buddha had given him the greatest gift, peace of mind. Arjun often returned to the forest to meditate and reflect on Buddha's teachings. He understood that peace did not come from external circumstances, but from the way he responded to them. By letting go of attachment and following the Eightfold Path, he had found the true solution to his suffering. And in the stillness of his heart, Arjun finally found what he had been searching for all along.